Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving headfirst into a story that's got the whole biotech world buzzing. Former DeepMind heavy hitters have just launched a brand new startup, armed with a cool $40 million, and they're laser-focused on AI-driven protein design. But here's the question that's keeping me up at night. Is this the key to unlocking cures for diseases we thought were impossible to treat? Or are we opening a can of worms we'll regret? Let's break it down. This isn't just another tech story. It's about the future of medicine, the potential for synthetic biology to reshape our world, and the very real ethical dilemmas that come with wielding this kind of power. Stick around, because this is going to be a wild ride. Okay, so what's the big deal? Well, you probably remember AlphaFold, DeepMind's AI that cracked protein folding. It was a game changer. Now, some of the brilliant minds behind that breakthrough are striking out on their own, forming companies like Latent Labs and another unnamed venture backed by that massive $40 million. These aren't just hobby projects. They're serious businesses aiming to revolutionize how we design proteins. Think about it. Proteins are the workhorses of our cells, responsible for everything from fighting off infections to building tissues. If we can design them from scratch, we can create new drugs, new materials, and even new forms of life. This is a big deal, folks. It's like giving scientists the ultimate Lego set, but instead of bricks, they're working with the very building blocks of life. The core promise here is speed. Traditional protein design is slow, expensive, and often involves a lot of trial and error in the lab. These AI-powered startups are aiming to drastically accelerate that process. Latent Labs, for example, is touting its laser focus on AI models specifically designed for protein engineering. This means they can potentially design proteins with enhanced functionality, like stronger binding affinity or improved stability, in a fraction of the time. Imagine designing a new antibody to fight a novel virus in weeks instead of years. That's the kind of potential we're talking about. We're not just talking about incremental improvements, we're talking about exponential leaps forward. This is the kind of disruption that can reshape entire industries. The ultimate goal, and this is where it gets really ambitious, is to minimize the need for those old-school, wet lab experiments. Think of it. Running countless physical experiments is time-consuming, resource-intensive, and frankly, a bit messy. By accurately predicting protein behavior through advanced computational models, these startups want to bring protein design into the digital age. They want to create proteins on a computer, test them virtually, and then only synthesize the ones that are most likely to succeed. This is like moving from blacksmithing to CAD/CM. The implications are huge. It means faster innovation, lower costs, and the ability to tackle problems that were previously considered intractable. The potential cost savings alone are enough to make big pharma drool. Now, here's where things get interesting. We're not just talking about one company here. We've got Latent Labs, this unnamed $40 million startup, and of course, Isomorphic Labs, DeepMind's own foray into drug discovery. This competition is fantastic. It's going to drive innovation and push the boundaries of what's possible. Think about it. Each company is going to be trying to outdo the others, developing better models, faster algorithms, and more innovative solutions. This is the kind of environment that leads to breakthroughs. It's like the space race all over again, but instead of rockets, we're building better proteins. This is the kind of competition that benefits everyone, especially patients waiting for new and improved treatments. We're also seeing a significant migration of talent from established organizations like DeepMind and Microsoft to these startups. This is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it concentrates expertise and accelerates the development of AI protein design technologies. On the other hand, it could create a talent vacuum in those larger companies. But ultimately, this movement of talent is a sign of the growing importance of AI in biology. It's a clear signal that the future of drug discovery and synthetic biology is going to be driven by AI. This is where the smart money is going, and the smartest people are following. Okay, let's talk about the impact on drug discovery. AI-designed proteins can be used to create novel therapeutic molecules with improved efficacy and reduced side effects. This could lead to a new generation of drugs targeting previously. Imagine drugs designed specifically for your genetic makeup, targeting the root cause of your illness with pinpoint accuracy. This isn't just about treating symptoms, it's about curing diseases. This is the promise of AI-driven drug discovery, and it's a promise that's getting closer to reality every day. But the potential of AI-driven protein design extends far beyond medicine. It opens up a whole new world of possibilities in synthetic biology. We can create novel enzymes, biosensors, and biomaterials for various industrial and environmental applications. Think about creating enzymes that can break down plastic waste, biosensors that can detect pollutants in the environment, or biomaterials that can repair damaged tissues. The possibilities are endless. This is about creating a more sustainable future, a future where we can use biology to solve some of the world's most pressing problems. It's a bold vision, but it's within our reach. Startups like Latent Labs are actively seeking partnerships with biotech and pharmaceutical companies. These collaborations are crucial for accelerating the adoption of AI-driven protein design technologies and bringing new products to market. It's a win-win situation. The startups get access to the resources and expertise of the established players, and the established players get access to the cutting-edge AI technology. This is how innovation happens. It's about bringing together the best minds and the best resources to solve the biggest challenges. The future of drug discovery is going to be built on these kinds of partnerships. The success of AlphaFold 2 and the emergence of these startups are attracting significant investment in the AI-driven biology space. This influx of capital is fueling further research and development, accelerating the pace of innovation. Investors are seeing the potential of this technology, and they're pouring money into it. This is a sign that the AI-driven biology sector is poised for explosive growth. We're talking about billions of dollars being invested in this space, and that's just the beginning. The future is bright for AI-driven biology, and the investors are betting big on it. The biotech and pharma industries are going to need to adapt to incorporate AI and computational biology expertise. This may require retraining existing employees or hiring new talent with specialized skills. The old ways of doing things are no longer going to cut it. The future is going to be driven by AI, and the companies that embrace this technology are the ones that are going to succeed. This is a call to action for the biotech and pharma industries. It's time to invest in AI, to train your employees, and to embrace the future. Those who don't will be left behind. The development of new drugs and therapies through AI-driven protein design has the potential to lead to better treatment options for a wide range of diseases, improving patient outcomes and quality of life, and, potentially, reducing healthcare costs by accelerating drug discovery and development. This is the ultimate goal, to improve human health and well-being. This is what drives the scientists, the researchers, and the entrepreneurs who are working in this field. They want to make a difference in the world, and they believe that AI-driven protein design can help them do that. It's a noble goal, and it's one that we should all support. The key word here is potential. We need to see the results to believe it. The jury's still out. The growth of the AI-driven biology sector can create new jobs in research, development, and manufacturing. It can also attract investment and stimulate economic growth in regions where these companies are located. This is a win-win situation for everyone. It's about creating new opportunities, new jobs, and a stronger economy. The AI-driven biology sector has the potential to be a major engine of economic growth in the coming years. It's a field that's worth investing in, and it's a field that's worth paying attention to. But, and this is a big but, as AI becomes more powerful in biology, it's important to consider the ethical implications of designing and manipulating proteins. This includes issues related to safety, accessibility, and potential misuse of the technology. We need to have a serious conversation about the ethical boundaries of AI-driven biology. We need to ensure that this technology is used responsibly and for the benefit of humanity. This is not something we can afford to ignore. It's a responsibility we all share. The success of AlphaFold 2 has raised public awareness of the importance of proteins and their role in human biology. This can lead to increased support for scientific research and a better understanding of health and disease. It's important for the public to understand the basics of biology and the role that proteins play in our lives. This knowledge can empower people to make informed decisions about their health and to support scientific research that can improve our lives. The more we understand, the better equipped we are to navigate the complex ethical landscape of AI-driven biology. All right, let's pump the brakes for a second. This all sounds amazing, right? But let's not get carried away. There are some serious risks we need to consider. First off, even with AlphaFold's breakthroughs, predicting protein structure isn't the same as creating functional, stable proteins. The AI models might generate designs that are theoretically sound but fail to work as intended in real-world biological systems. Think of it like designing a beautiful car on paper, but then realizing it can't actually drive. The gap between prediction and reality is a real concern. It's a reminder that AI is a tool, not a magic wand. Another technical challenge is generalization. Models trained on existing protein data might struggle to design truly novel proteins with desired properties that fall outside the training data's distribution. And then there's the hallucination risk. AI models, especially generative ones, can create outputs that are biologically implausible or based on spurious correlations in the data. It's like the AI is making stuff up. We need to be careful about trusting the AI blindly. We need to have human experts who can validate the AI's designs and ensure that they're actually biologically relevant. And let's not forget the wet lab validation bottleneck. While the goal is to reduce reliance on wet labs, they are currently essential for validating AI-generated designs. The wet lab process, it's a reminder that AI is not a replacement for traditional scientific methods. It's a complement to them. We still need scientists in the lab to test the AI's designs and to ensure that they actually work as intended. Designing proteins with specific functions and properties is an incredibly complex problem. Current AI models might not be powerful enough to fully capture all the relevant factors and interactions. AI models are also data-hungry. The availability of high-quality, experimentally validated protein data could be a limiting factor. And scaling up the computational infrastructure needed to train and run these models can be expensive and challenging. This is a reminder that AI is not free. It requires significant investment in both hardware and software. Deep learning models are often black boxes, making it difficult to understand why they generate specific designs. This lack of explainability can hinder trust and adoption and make it harder to debug and improve the models. If we don't understand why the AI is making the decisions it's making, how can we trust it? We need to develop methods for making AI more transparent and explainable. This is a major challenge for the AI community, and it's one that we need to address if we want to build trust in AI-driven technologies. Ensuring that AI-generated designs can be consistently reproduced in different labs and under different conditions is crucial. Variations in experimental protocols or reagents could lead to inconsistent results. The scientific community has been grappling with a reproducibility crisis for years, and AI is not immune to this problem. We need to develop rigorous standards for validating AI-generated designs and ensuring that they can be reproduced by other scientists. This is essential for building trust in AI-driven science. The AI-driven drug discovery and protein design space is becoming increasingly crowded. Latent labs and other startups will face competition from established pharmaceutical companies, larger AI companies like DeepMind/Isomorphic, and other well-funded startups. The competition is fierce, and it's only going to get fiercer. These startups need to have a clear competitive advantage if they want to survive. They need to be able to offer something that the other players can't. Isomorphic Labs, backed by Alphabet, has a significant head start in resources. Competing directly with them will be challenging. They have access to the best AI talent in the world, and they have the financial resources to pursue ambitious projects. It's going to be difficult for smaller startups to compete with them directly. They need to find a niche where they can excel, and they need to be able to move quickly and efficiently. Latent Labs is focusing on protein design, while Isomorphic Labs has a broader scope. It's not clear if a narrower focus will be an advantage or a disadvantage in the long run. A laser focus can allow a company to develop deep expertise in a specific area, but it can also make them vulnerable to disruption. A broader scope can allow a company to explore more opportunities, but it can also make them less efficient. It's a strategic trade-off, and it's one that each company needs to carefully consider. AI research and drug discovery are expensive. Latent Labs will need to continuously raise funding to support its research and development efforts. Drug development is a long and risky process. It could take many years for Latent Labs to develop a commercially viable product. Investors might become impatient if progress is slow. These startups need to have a clear plan for how they're going to generate revenue, and they need to be able to convince investors that they're worth the risk. Securing and protecting intellectual property is critical. Latent Labs will need to carefully manage its patents and trade secrets. The AI-driven biology space is highly competitive, and intellectual property is a key asset. These startups need to be able to protect their innovations from being copied by their competitors. This requires a strong legal team and a proactive approach to intellectual property management. Success will likely depend on forming partnerships with pharmaceutical companies. Negotiating favorable terms and demonstrating the value of Latent Labs technology will be essential. Pharmaceutical companies are the gatekeepers to the drug market, and they're the ones who have the resources to bring new drugs to market. These startups need to be able to convince the pharmaceutical companies that their technology is worth investing in. This requires a strong track record of success and a compelling value proposition. Convincing researchers to adopt Latent Labs tools and services will require demonstrating their superiority over existing methods. Researchers are skeptical of new technologies, and they're only going to adopt them if they're convinced that they're better than the tools they're already using. These startups need to be able to show researchers that their AI-driven tools can help them to make new discoveries and to develop new drugs more quickly and efficiently. The technology could potentially be misused to design dangerous or harmful proteins, including bioweapons. Safeguards and ethical guidelines are needed to prevent this. This is a serious concern that needs to be addressed proactively. The potential for misuse is real, and we need to take steps to prevent it. This requires a multifaceted approach, including regulation, ethical guidelines, and education. Introducing synthetic proteins into the environment or human body could have unintended and unpredictable consequences. Thorough risk assessments are essential. We need to be careful about introducing new technologies into complex systems like the environment and the human body. We need to understand the potential risks and to take steps to mitigate them. This requires a cautious and responsible approach to innovation. If the technology becomes too expensive, it could exacerbate existing inequalities in healthcare and research. If the training data is biased, the AI models could generate designs that are less effective or even harmful for certain populations. We need to ensure that AI-driven biology benefits everyone, not just the wealthy and privileged. This requires a commitment to equity and accessibility. We need to ensure that the technology is affordable and that it's used to address the needs of underserved populations. As mentioned earlier, the lack of explainability in AI models raises ethical concerns. It's important to understand how the models are making decisions and to be able to justify those decisions. If something goes wrong as a result of an AI-generated protein design, it's important to be able to assign responsibility. We need to hold AI developers accountable for the consequences of their technology. This requires a commitment to transparency and accountability. We need to be able to understand how AI is making decisions, and we need to be able to hold people responsible when things go wrong. Who owns the intellectual property rights to proteins designed by AI? This is a complex legal and ethical question that needs to be addressed. A few companies could potentially dominate the AI protein design space, leading to monopolies and stifling innovation. We need to ensure that the AI-driven biology space remains competitive and that innovation is not stifled by monopolies. This requires a careful approach to intellectual property law and a commitment to promoting competition. So, where does all this leave us? Well, the emergence of AI-driven protein design startups like Latent Labs is undoubtedly exciting. The potential to revolutionize medicine, synthetic biology, and countless other fields is immense. But it's crucial to approach this technology with a healthy dose of skepticism and a clear understanding of the potential risks. We need to be mindful of the ethical implications, the technical challenges, and the potential for misuse. But ultimately, the potential benefits of AI-driven protein design are too great to ignore. It's a technology that has the power to change the world, and it's a technology that we need to embrace responsibly. What do you think? Is this the future of drug discovery, or are we heading down a dangerous path? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more in-depth analysis of the latest AI breakthroughs. Thanks for watching.